Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 7, Episode 3, called Stand in Your Truth. It started off where it left off from Episode 2, where Gizelle was talking to Candiance privately about the way Chris made her feel last season at the reunion and stuff like that. And so Candice said she said her line she said, I got a lot to lose, not today, Nick, not today, thighs, not today. And so she was saying that she was asking Gizelle the same questions. What did Chris do to you to make you feel unfair? Did he touch you? Did he do it? Oh no, he didn't do nothing like that. He said, why you made me feel? Because we was in a room by ourselves, and I didn't feel like that I should be in a that I should be in a room with that I should be in a room with, that I should be alone in a room with a married man by myself and stuff. And she said, well, when you felt like that way, what did you do to Chris? I told Chris to leave and he left. And she said, so he left and he didn't do nothing. No, he didn't do nothing. And then so she said, Eric, Eric, Eric. She called Eric again. And then she said, Eric, we're not having this. We're not having this today. You probably ain't gonna want me here today. We're not having this today. She said, she gonna try to say something about Chris, and Chris is not the one. Chris is not the one. We know who the P person is. We know who the P person is. It's Michael Darby. He been doing this stuff for years and years and years. It's not have nothing to do with Chris, and I don't like nobody talking about Chris like that and saying things like that. And then Eric kind of calmed Candice down, told Candice, let me stop this. My phone ringing. I'm back now, though my phone ring. But anyway, he said, Candice, she said, Candice, y'all all talk about each other and do stuff. She said, but nah, we don't talk about each other. Nothing. She said, I ain't here for this. I ain't here for this. Next thing you know, Candice walked out the room, and then everybody was looking all funny and stuff. And then Ashely was saying, "What's going on? What's going on?" And then Gizelle had a funny look on her face, saying, "I don't really know what's going on. I really don't." And then Clarice said, "Well, what is going on?" And then so 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 Gizelle asked Mia. She said, Mia, I want to talk to you alone and stuff like that. And then Ashley kept saying, but why did she leave? Why did she leave? Giselle kept saying she don't know. So she went in the back and talked to Mia. She told me, she said, Mia, I want to talk to you about your social media thing and about what I said. She said, but what it is, I'm sorry for what I said. It said that I thought you was faking about your thing. I even gave you an email and gave you an invite. You never returned my email. Mia said, well, I was busy. I had a lot of things going on. I had to go back to work. I had a lot of things going on. It's not that it's not that I didn't want to give you a response. I just had a lot going on. I forgot about it. She said, well, okay. I'm just apologizing. She said, well, yeah, I was looking at why would I fake something like that and stuff like that. That was real to me. I was just going by what the doctor said. The doctor said that I had some lumps and some lips, some lips and some lumps and some lymph nodes and stuff. And I had to go get it checked out. So I just wouldn't get checked out. So I just went. I just what the doctor said. She said, well, okay. Are we good now, Mia? Mia said, yeah, we good now. And Mia said in her confessional, yeah, she ignored Gizelle thing because she looked at it. If Gizelle was gonna think that about her, Gizelle wasn't no friend. And so they all kind of went back to the front. And then Gizelle said, everything okay out here? And then Clarice said, we just wondering what was going on and stuff. And she was saying, yeah, what was going on? And then Giselle said, well, I don't know. And then they kept asking about what you call. and she said, yeah, I told Candiance about how Chris made me feel uncomfortable and stuff like that. And maybe that's why she left. Maybe that's why she left. And then so he did. She said, yeah, he wanted to talk to me separately in the room, and I felt uncomfortable about Clarice. And Clarice said, yeah, he shouldn't have asked you to come in that room by yourself, and you didn't have nobody in there. She said, yeah, because I thought my makeup artist person was up in there, but he wasn't up in there. And then Robyn said, well, when I first heard about the story from Ashely, I even told Ashely that I didn't think nothing about it. I didn't think nothing about it because Ashely said he was in her DMs and other folks' DMs. And she said, well, when I told Giselle said, well, when I mentioned it to Candiance got upset. And they said, oh, that's why she left. And they said, and then Clarice said, well, how are we going to fix this, Giselle? We need to fix this. She said, well, we're going to try to fix it. And then next thing you know, next thing you know, next thing you know, next thing you know, Robyn was telling Wendy. She said, Wendy, you said the same thing. You said the same thing, just like everybody else. That you thought Wendy was faking from what she said about her social media thing, and then Wendy said, I didn't say that. I know what I said. And went back and forth. And then Robyn jumped up and said, I know what you said too. And Robyn jumped up and was going to get him. Wendy said, I know what I said. You need to stand in your truth, Robyn, and sit down. You said that. And then Shady Production showed where they was leaving out someplace to gym or someplace. She said, yeah, she is lying. She is lying. Wendy did say, Robyn did sit down after Wendy told her to sit down, and they got to arguing back and forth. And the Clarice said, come on, let's calm down, man. We got to fix this. Next thing you know, certain people at the dance studio were looking funny, and then they left out. And then it switched to the next scene. And the next scene was Candiance. The next scene was Candiance FaceTiming her doctor and telling her doctor that this was her first time doing the IVF stuff. And so what happened? She told her she was giving Candiance instructions on how to do it. I didn't like that part because when Candiance had to stick that thing, up in her stomach, up in her belly, and there was a big old needle, and she said it hurt a little bit, and the doctor said it was gonna be all right after she hurt a little bit, and stuff like that. And then after that, Candiance had talked about how her sister was living with them temporarily, all that stuff. And then after that, switched to the next scene, and the next scene was Karen FaceTiming her daughter and telling her daughter that she had to throw away a lot of chicken and a lot of meat because she had got sick. And she went to the doctor, and the doctor gave her a test and told her she was allergic to chicken. And said, "Oh yeah, I'm allergic to that dirty bird. Me and you gonna talk about eating healthy." And then Raven said, "Well, I'm already eating a little bit healthy, Mom." She said, "We got to eat a little bit more healthy, and we're gonna have to get Ray involved in it. Ray involved in it." She said, "Yeah, you think Daddy gonna do it?" She said, "Yeah." And she was throwing out all that chicken and stuff. She could have gave that chicken away, or she could have let eat that chicken. But anyway, she was saying, yeah, your daddy was upset with me because of the boobies, because of the girls, because I got the girls redone. He didn't act like that when I was younger, and I told him that if you wanted to do something like that, I would give you good advice and tell you what to do. And she said he told me don't tell you that, don't give you no advice about getting no lift or nothing like that. He said he don't know why women do plastic surgery anyway and stuff like that. And she said, I don't know why he was acting like that. And she said, oh, he was acting like that. She said, oh, Raven, I miss you. I wish you would come home. She said, my daughter's doing good. She said, my daughter's doing good. You know my daughter's doing good. If she was invited to I forgot that famous ball that they have. The famous bar that they have every year. I can't think of the name of it. But anyway, they got off of FaceTime. They got off FaceTime, and then it went back to. I think it went back to. Let me pause. I need some water. Okay, I'm back. The next scene is when Karen and Ray go to the nail shop, and the woman asks Karen what does she want. She says she wants a pedicure, and she wanted Ray to get she wanted Ray to get she wanted she wanted Ray to get a pedicure, and she wanted to get a mani. And so so she was kind of playing. She said, "Oh yeah, you can paint his fingernail pink." Ray said, "Oh no, you ain't painting my fingernails no pink. I ain't going for that. I ain't going for that." And then the next thing you know, uh, 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 Karen told Ray that she had talked to Raven, and and she told Raven the stuff about him not liking her getting the plastic surgery. And she told Ray, "I told Raven that I was gonna give you advice." He said, "No, no, I told you I ain't want no advice. I told you that I didn't want you to do it either, and I didn't like what you do it either. But you're a grown woman, so I couldn't tell you know what to do." And so then it was like right after that she was talking about uh, the stuff that happened along, stuff that happened with the girls and stuff about how some of the girls were concerned about Mia, in her health, and she was too, and how some of the girls was thinking that Mia was confusing them by social media posts and stuff like that. And so after that, it switched to the next scene, and the next scene was Wendy showing up for a hair treatment, and she told the woman that ever since she had her second baby, her hair started falling out. And she wanted to wonder why, and the doctor was telling her, well, sometimes your hair follicles could fall out or be loose because of stress and other kind of stuff. She said, "Oh yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm a professor, and I'm a professor, and I got my own, and I got my own show on TV, and then I'm working on this." She said, "Well, I might do be a little bit stressed out because I've been selling my stuff thin." And the woman said, "Well, I'm gonna give you this hair treatment, I'm gonna give you this prescription for the I'm gonna get this prescription for you to take this stuff so you can so your hair follicles and stuff can start going back." And then the next thing you know, Mia was meeting up with Robyn at lunch, and they kind of had their little meet and greet, shook hands and said hi to each other. Then they sat down, and then so Robyn was telling Mia how she doing, and she said she was doing all right. She said, "Well, yeah, me and Gizelle, we had some concerns about your health because of what you put on social media and stuff like that, and so we just want to clear things up." Emil said, "Like I said, the doctor had told me that I had some lumps going on, some lymph nodes or whatever, and so I'm just going by what he told me. He the one told me that maybe I should get a referral from John Hopkins and stuff like that. So that's why I was going." She said, "Yeah, but your social media thing was confusing. Mia was confusing." She said, "Well, that's why I straightened up, and that's why I said I was going in for testing." She said, but then after I went in for testing, I did eventually had to get some lymph nodes removed. I had to go through surgery to get some of them removed." And she said, "Well, how you doing now?" Mia said, "I'm doing all right." She said, Mia said to Robyn, "I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right." And she said, "Don't you know at the, at the fan, at the spring event, Ashely pulled me to the side and say that Chris had slid into her DMs, and I told Ashely I don't think nothing was wrong with that because Chris was the general manager of the rooftop, and maybe he was trying to get her invited, get her to come down to the rooftop for some business and invite her to some business because he did like one of her TikTok videos she did with the dancing." And then Mia said, "Oh, I got a story too." And then it went to commercial. Then it came back, and she said, "Yeah, when we was at the spring thing, he was looking at me too. Chris kept looking at me too, and I didn't say nothing about it. I just turned my head." Baby Shady Production showed that Chris was nowhere near her. Chris wasn't even looking at Mia, and everybody know Mia just made up this story. Everybody know that Mia just made up this story and stuff. And she said, "Oh." But I ain't say he did no, but he was just looking at me, just staring at me. Then switch to the next scene, and the next scene was Candiance and Chris meeting up for lunch, Chris asked Candiance how was she doing, and she said she was not doing too good. She was stressed out because of all the stuff that was going on and stuff like that. And she said she told Chris that she talked to a doctor, and the doctor said her IBF wasn't going right and stuff like that. He said, "Well, don't worry about it. Don't stress yourself out. Just be calm, cool. Just be calm, cool." And then she said, "Well, how are you doing, Chris?" He said, "I'm not doing too good either. This stuff is stressing me out." He said, "You know what? I've always been friendly to all of the women, and I thought Gizelle was my friend too. But when you told me what she came up and said about me, and she said, yeah, that's why I know Gizelle was lying." She said, "Because I know you would never do nothing like that. You would never do nothing like that, Chris. You're not that kind of person." He said, "Yeah, I know I'm not that kind of person." Next thing you know, Karen, I'm not Karen, Robyn walked up and said, "Oh, how you doing? What y'all talking about?" And she said, "Well, yeah, we were just talking about what Gizelle had said." And then that's when Robyn came up and told Chris and Candiance that that Gizelle only said that because of what Ashely said. And said, "What did Ashely say?" She said, "Ashely said that Chris had slid into her DMs and he was sliding into other people's DMs. And then Gizelle said that you want to talk to her alone by herself, Chris." And I was saying alone in her room by herself. And Chris said, "No, no, it wasn't like that." He said, "I told Gizelle that I wanted to talk to her to the side." Gizelle was the one who wanted to go in the room and stuff. And then Robyn said, "Yeah, when I first heard that the thing, what Gizelle told me," Ashely said, "I even told Gizelle that there was nothing wrong with it. I didn't think nothing was gonna be I don't think he was gonna do nothing inappropriate or out of the way." He said, "I didn't." He said, "I didn't." He said, and then that's when Candiance chimed in and said, "Yeah, I know Gizelle lied. Gizelle been a snake." And then Robyn said, "Well, I told Gizelle that I didn't think nothing about it." And so they all look kind of funny at each other. And the show ended. Gizelle is keeping this narrative going, and also Robyn. I know they're gonna talk about it at the reunion. This was a good episode too. This is A. Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a T.I. is. I am out. Oh, I'm gonna put the ratings for 2 and 3 in this video. Now I'm out.